Alright, this is Joe Melendez. These are the Drianna Sequences, and this is Apathy Sequence, the youngest sequence that I have out of 4. That said, this character's name is Apparatus. It was a character made in the wake of a split between me and somebody else. We were working on Apathy Sequence together, and things didn't work out. So we went our separate ways. The person I was working with, he made half of the characters of the sequence, and I made the other half. I named the sequence, so I kept the name, and sequence is at the end of all of my work anyway, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense for him to keep the word sequence when I have a copyrighted set of stories called the Drianna Sequences. So yeah, this became Apathy Sequence. It was called Apathy Sequence because I was basically apathetic during the time, and still am to a certain extent. And this began in fall, so the tradition has been to keep it going every fall, whereas I have seasons for other sequences, and you'll see those soon enough. But this fall, you'll be seeing nothing but Apathy Sequence work. But stay tuned for that, because there's a lot of stuff to show. Now, Apparatus, if you notice a little pieces of light on his chest, he has a civilization of these mechanical little beings on him. Their working title right now is the Infliction, but basically trying to wrap my mind around humanity, and just doing that, diving into a lot of different points of view that I've heard of humanity, and thinking a lot of it myself. I just decided, what would happen if, say, something like us infected us. We kind of have that with cancer. But I figured I wanted something a little more direct. I do not know if something like this exists in fiction today. I'm sure it does in many ways, because the concept of humanity is right in front of our faces, and of course people are going to express that in various ways. If this is reminiscent of anything, if this is familiar, if you've seen this play out in another story, bring it to my attention so I can look at that source. I'm not perfect, but I definitely want to make sure that what I'm doing is as original as it can possibly be, and this is a sequence in process. So yeah, definitely let me know. And by the way, what do you think of this character? There's a lot of things right now that are kind of being developed in front of you. The background, right now at this moment, isn't very solid. You can kind of see things coming into shape, but it's gonna be a while before it's finished. But yeah, what do you think of the character? What do you think of the position he's standing in? One thing you should know about him: he's kind of dancey. He was created kind of inspired by all of the things that I would see when I'd go to EBM industrial shows. I've seen Imperative Reaction and Aesthetic Perfection. Imperative Reaction and Aesthetic Perfection live, and there's a lot of things about those bands that I found very inspiring, especially Aesthetic Perfection, the way he would move around on stage. And Apparatus actually moves around in similar ways, because he has that civilization constantly tearing into him and mining him and dwelling on him. He's always kind of tense, and he's always moving around kind of in fluid waves, almost to adjust to all the pain that's happening. He's kind of got his own way of moving, and it's very rhythmic and stuff like that. And he's a somewhat bitter, sarcastic character, and at the same time the forces that control him are incredibly intelligent. I should say halfway control him, because he does have control over himself. But there are times when the Infliction has complete control over him, so it kind of goes back and forth. But the only similarities is that you've got two different types of cynical characters controlling this body, both the original mind of the individual and the mind of this species that controls him. Anyway, yeah, there's not much else that I can say except that I really want to kind of dive into what he can do. It's still kind of up in the air, but one thing I know for sure is that him having this whole civilization on him, the civilization has, of course, a variety of weapons. So the thing is, he never really attacks you the same way twice. Things happen, like, sick things happen with this character. I've imagined so many different ways in which he attacks, so many different mediums, and I don't want to like go into too many specifics on it because I would have to like, it's too much to explain. It really is. But you can kind of see me, you know, building the little civilizations on him. You can see that they're everywhere. They're on his face. They're on his hands. He glows in the night. If everything's completely black, you see little tiny red lights everywhere, traffic, building lights, everything. He's just, he's basically Earth. He's a walking Earth. And he's in as much pain as I'd imagine this creature, Earth, would be in if it can feel pain. And yeah, so I suppose that's really all I have to say. And it's actually right on the dot too, because it's pretty much over at this point. JM symbol should show up very soon. Stalling. Where is it? There it is. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll try to do commentary some other time. That's all I got.